Welcome back to another special monthly edition of the Saturday Sendout from the Simple Side. Yes, I have rebranded from the Weekly Quintet to the Saturday Sendout. I think it's a lot more fitting, and I am sending these things out on Saturday. So I figured we'd stick with it, stick with the S theme, Simple Side Saturday Sendout, and just see how many tongue twisters we can put into our titling. All right, well, here is the introduction in today's cheesy poem. If you've got cash and you're wondering where to park it, read the Simple Side letter below and learn to beat the market. Almost sounds like Master Oogway, and if you don't know what that is, you should probably go watch Kung Fu Panda 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 5. I don't even know how many there are anymore. All right, but before we jump into the rest of the podcast and the newsletter, I want to let you all know that I am putting together a how to trade my newsletters post that should be available to all subscribers soon. It's going to come out on the website and on my homepage. It'll come out to you guys in a newsletter as well. I am just trying to find the time to get that done, and I'll see if I can work on it this weekend. I want to get out to you guys as soon as possible. I had a paid subscriber reach out to me and say, I want a little bit more of an in-depth look at how I should be looking at reading and trading your newsletters. So I'm going to put that together. All right, and as you guys know, since we're at the end of the month, I no longer cover the week. Well, I cover a little bit of the week, but I switch all of my reporting to the month. So we're going to look at some of the craziest action that has happened this month that maybe we missed in our weekly reporting, but makes a huge difference. All right, we are still going to talk about the weekly recovery. So for those of you that don't know, the weekly recovery is a showcase of all the actionable insights I provide to paying subscribers every week in our Saturday Sendout newsletters. I provide my paying investors buy, watch, and sell opportunities that I see in the market, and then I track these weekly returns and present all of the buy opportunities here the following week. I present how well the portfolio did for that week. The goal, of course, is to beat the S&P 500 every week, and if you can just do that weekly, then you can beat them yearly, which means you can beat them for multiple years, which is what we're trying to do. So what we have is over the past month, we averaged a return of 1.53%, which beats the market, which returned 1.32% over the same period. That's awesome. Of course, the past week we lost. So this is the only second week out of 6 that we've lost to the market, and we only lost by 0.11%. Overall, monthly, we are still beating the market, and annualized, we're averaging a return of 9.28%, while the S&P 500 annualized, based on August, is only returning 2.57%. So we are looking good there. You can go and read through all of our old newsletters if you want to see the historical trades that we had marked, but we are also about to get into that in this newsletter. Over the past month, I think this newsletter has done around 2 million views. And I want all of you to know, especially those of you who pay for my content, invest in me, the content that you're receiving is unmatched. I went through every newsletter that I had sent out over the past month and pulled every stock that I gave a rating to, a buy, a watch, or a sell opportunity. And I recorded all of them, and I tracked the returns over the monthly holding period that I have. Now, in reality, when I report these, I usually am tracking them just over the next week. But if you wanted to go look at everything that I have reported on and said, I think this is a good buy over the next week, over the next month, this is how things would have gone. The top stocks that I have on here are GDS, CRWD, and AVGO. And the returns on the 3 of those stocks are 70.33%, 35.1%, and 24.16%. And those, of course, were all bought on August 3rd. And I sold them at the end of August, returning 70%, 35%, and 24%. I mean, those were incredible buys. And the 3 worst that I've had were nowhere near that scale. I have TMFZROZ in the Chinese stock market. Now, the Chinese stock market should be at the bottom of this list because I said it was a short position that I had. I think you should be looking at shorting the Chinese market. I do not think it's going to perform well. And so, of course, it's good to see that one down at the bottom. ZROZ and TMF are hard to look at down there. I have these as bond conviction trades right now. I think bonds are going to do very well as we see rates come down. I did look at trading half of that position, getting rid of half of that position. I bought positions in these stocks around October. These are now up around 50%. So I'm looking at taking gains on those, but decision on that coming sometime in the future. All right, as you can see, I value transparency. I'm willing to tell you the best things that I've done. I'm willing to tell you the worst things that I've done, and I'm reporting every stock that I have mentioned and whether the rating that I've given it over the past month. And so you're probably wondering, well, how do all these returns compare to the S&P 500 over the past month? And so if you're looking at my newsletter and if you're listening to the podcast, you should go look at this part of the newsletter. My watch portfolio performance. So these are stocks that I rated as watch stocks. And so for those of you who have been reading along for this past month, you know that if I label a stock as watch, it's a stock that I have a long feeling and a long position in unless otherwise stated. And I just think these are a little bit more risky than offering them up as buy opportunities. So there's a potential downside in these. But guess what? Our watch portfolio crushed it, up 27% over the past month. Our buy and watch portfolios combined are up 17.51% over the past month. Our buy portfolio performance is 7.89% over the past month, beating both the short portfolio that I have and the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was around 3% up, and that's being generous. It was 2.67%, and our short portfolio performance was down 0.7%. So we have a short portfolio that was down as we expected it to be, and we have a buy portfolio and a watch portfolio that both outpaced the market drastically, and the total between the two, or the average, also outpaced the market. At a minimum, our total portfolio between the watch and the buy stocks outpaced the market by around 15%. And that's just in a month. So we're really happy with that progress. And, for all of you paid subscribers, I'm glad that we were able to go through that month together. We're going to be looking at September. It's going to be interesting. September typically is a bad month for the market. And so we're hoping to have another month of outperformance there. All right, now let's jump into the monthly reports of politician, insider, and executive trading from the past month. Typically, I report all this weekly, but of course, today is a special edition, and we are going to cover monthly. I'm going to rush through this a little bit. I try to keep these podcasts under 10 minutes long just because it makes it a quick and easy read for your Saturday, but I might want to get into a couple of these things. Either way, let's get into it. So for politician trading, we have ETFs NANC and KRUZ, which of course are the Democratic and Republican tracking ETFs. NANC is down 1.38% this week, up 1.56% over the past month, and up 20% year to date. Then we have KRUZ, which is up 0.31% this week, 1.42% over the past month, and 13.39% year to date. So both of these performing pretty well on the year. And what's fueled these returns over the past 30 days has been 6 politicians that have made a total of 74 trades, moving over $2.23 million in the market. And the largest buy this month, or sell, came from Scott Franklin, who sold QQQ on August 6th. Since the original trade, the stock has returned 9%. So maybe this poor trade was the reason he didn't report it until August 21st, even though he traded on August 6th. All right, well, let's get into the other top 5 trades from this past month, all of which came from Scott Franklin, interestingly. His largest was a sale of Starbucks stock, ticker SBUX. He traded this on August 14th, and the size of the trade was around $100,000 to $250,000. Since he made that sell, Starbucks stock is down 0.81%. Then we have Accenture PLC, ticker ACN. He traded this on August 7th for between $50,000 and $100,000, and since he bought that stock, it is up 6.8%. Not a bad return. Then we have Air Products and Chemicals, ticker APD, which he bought on August 7th for around $50,000 to $100,000. Since he made that buy, the stock is down 0.69%. Then we have Amgen, ticker AMGN, which he bought on August 7th as well. Again, the trade was between $50,000 and $100,000, and since he made that buy, the stock is up 3.9%. And last but not least, we have Chubb, ticker CB, traded on August 7th with the same volume, $50,000 to $100,000, and the stock is up 6.6% since that trade. So overall, he's performing really well off these two trades. He's got four buys, three of which all returned over/around 4%. So he's got 6%, 3.9%, and another 6%. And then APD is down 0.69. So great returns for him over the past month. All right, let's check out insider trading, where we've got Sure, which is our ETF that we track for insider trading, which is up 2.39% this week, 1.42% this month, and 11.26% year to date. The most interesting insider buyer this month was an anonymous buyer who sold COR on August 1st. The stock has since returned negative 1.8%, and the transaction total for their sale of COR, or Syncora Inc., was $1,067,646,416. So over $1 billion sold. Absolutely insane. And there's a bunch of other stocks you can check out in the newsletter. I think I gave a list of more than 10 for this week, but we also have a couple of large sales for Bank of America, large transfers out of Brookfield, sales of Kava. Mainly sales this week, which is pretty surprising. All right, let's move into executive trading. The largest buyer over the past month was Henry Schuck, who bought Zoom, ticker ZI, stock for $8.49 on August 7th. Since this buy, he has returned 16.5%. Just another reason to follow the Simple Side. You can get these trades when they happen weekly in our newsletter and this podcast. The other large buys that we saw over the past month came from all CEOs for the companies MBLY. These are all tickers, by the way. MBLY, AAM, FOX, and ISPO, all of which have performed relatively well. And just to keep the episode short, I'm not going to get into the monthly highs and lows, but we have 1 week change of 400%, another of 396%, and another of 377%. And then the losers, we have negative 87, negative 84, and negative 83% returns. And yes, for you paid subscribers, I still have the TLDR summary, which sums up everything that I have in the report for you paid subscribers. And then we also get into all of the mergers and acquisitions, top investment ideas, and all the other good stuff I have down there for you. So enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and thank you so much for investing in the Simple Side.